Tonight on KGW News.
Splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
The first steps back on Earth for 2 astronauts after 9 extra months in space. Also tonight, a Portland business raided by the cops, how police say they profited off merchandise stolen from other stores. Then more Teslas go up in flames at dealerships across the country, who's now calling it domestic terrorism. Plus,
when we found out these rules come out at the end of February, we were stopped dead in our tracks.
As food cart owners in Tigard say they're struggling to keep up and pay up when it comes to new red tape. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. We begin tonight with a case against a former Clackamas County commissioner accused of stealing thousands from a man in his 80s. And today we got to look at how investigators say she managed to pull it off. Devin Haskins has the update.
A search warrant unsealed in Clackamas County Court alleges former Clackamas County Commissioner Melissa Fireside took advantage of an elderly man and used him to pay back loans worth nearly $30,000. Police started looking into Fireside in October when the daughter of the man noticed suspicious activity in his bank account. Court documents say Fireside created a fake email address, linked the man's banking information to her cell phone, and then coached him to reset his banking information. I talked with Dan Norris, the first state prosecutor put in charge of prosecuting elder abuse crimes.
Dressing a theft up as a loan frequently does not work as a defense, because what you're going to find is there was no repayment ever made on the loan.
Norris says it's a billions of dollars a year crime nationally.
They are leaving the elderly people frequently destitute, unable to have the life that they earned, and it is a serious issue.
Court documents say the man thought he was co-signing a loan and wouldn't have to pay anything out of pocket. In a text to the man's daughter, Fireside said her dad, quote, agreed to sign for a loan to help me until my investment property sells. During the investigation, police found multiple transactions from the man's bank account that were deemed suspicious. 2 payments totaling $1,000 were paid to Fireside, and a $29,000 withdrawal was paid to Oregon State Representative April Dobson. Dobson said that she gave Fireside a personal loan. 8 felony charges that, if convicted, Fireside could face significant fines and jail time.
If you steal more than $10,000 from a person over 65, it's a presumptive prison in Oregon.
Fireside has pleaded not guilty and will be back in court on April 29th. Tomorrow, Clackamas County commissioners say they will open up a 3-week application window into finding Fireside's replacement. They say they hope to have the new member sworn in by the end of April. I'm Devin Haskins, KGW News.
In another update tonight, the trial for the man accused of murdering a newlywed nurse from Beaverton has now been pushed back 6 months. Bryce Schubert is accused of killing his neighbor, 32-year-old Melissa Jubain, last September, just 10 days after she was married. According to court documents, Schubert's lawyer asked a Washington County judge to push back the trial that was set for September, citing large amounts of evidence and his need to prepare for another client's trial. Schubert pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder and abuse of a corpse. It is now slated to go on trial next March. New tonight, food cart owners in Tigard are concerned over new city ordinances that some say are keeping them from growing their business. Daisy Caballero caught up with some of them. So, Daisy, what's the deal here?
Yeah, David, well, one food cart pod manager tells me that these new regulations have put a wrench in expansion plans he's been working on for the last 2 years. But the city says the new standards were needed to make sure the pods are safe for everyone.
And we looked out the new rules and go, holy smokes, we cannot comply to these rules.
Gregory Miller is the property manager of the Hudson Plaza off Pacific Highway in Tigard. He's got 3 food carts on the lot now, but Miller had hoped to double that. However, new regulations have put a stop to the expansion.
We just have to have rules that make sense that we can comply to.
You will have 2 minutes for your topic.
Several cart and pod owners took their concerns to a city council meeting on Tuesday. They're worried about new development fees, a limit of carts per lot, and the distance they now need to be from one another.
We're just looking to talk to you so that we can move forwards, because all of us have spent a lot of money and we are all in a pickle.
According to a city official, these updated food cart regulations were approved back in April of last year, adding that affected property owners were notified at the time.
The proposed ordinances were just to really set up some standards and guidelines for owners and developers who are interested in food carts and how to navigate the design.
But because of confusion, the city just passed amendments to clarify the rules. Food carts and pods already established and licensed before January 28th of this year can keep operating. But those looking to expand or new carts have to meet the new criteria.
These new regulations are making it even more challenging, adding yet another obstacle to our struggle to revive the business.
However, not all car owners see these changes as negative, but rather the complete opposite.
It means that more and more people are starting to get into the food cart business, and so they want to be able to keep their eye a little bit more on it and at the same time keep it safe for the environment, which I feel like is a plus.
And several car owners are worried about affording impact fees under the new regulations. The city says those fees will be based on a cart or pod size and utility use, and adds the fees are something other kinds of businesses in the city are already having to pay. David, back to you.
Yeah, some important context there. Thanks, Daisy. Appreciate your reporting tonight. Okay, let's take you outside now for a first check on your forecast. 48 degrees in the Rose City on a relatively calm Tuesday night with Matt Zafino. The first day of spring just 24 hours or so away. How are things looking?
They're looking pretty wet for the first day of spring, and as importantly, pretty snowy, very snowy up in the Cascades. We've zoomed in on Timberline Lodge right now, kind of a little bit of a view of like the movie The Shining, right? The entrance there all coated in snow, a little bit black and white, 24 degrees, 15 inches of snow since yesterday. So it just keeps on coming in the Cascades. And when we look at the snowfall graph for Crater Lake, down in southern Oregon, they're at 174 inches. That's where they are now. This is the average line. So they're running a solid 170% of average basically at the moment at Crater Lake. Let's go back to Timberline though and look at the map for there, or the graph for Timberline. The blue line is what we're at right now, and the average is right along there too. So we've been running about average at Timberline all winter long, each individual grade line or individual year, some above, some below, but this year right about average. So we're doing quite well with our snowpack here in Oregon, and we will do better as we go into the next 48 hours, because look at this. Through tomorrow, not much, but from tomorrow night through Thursday and into Friday, this model forecasting nearly 3 feet of snow up on Mount Hood. So it is going to dump and come down hard again, like it did over the weekend. And we'll get some decent valley rain, not expecting any real impact or issues in the valley from the rain. Then big warm up next week, at least the early part of next week, but don't bank on all of the spring break being dry, because it won't be. More on all of this, David, in a bit. Back to you.
Hey, at least it won't be a washout. Thanks so much, Matt. Developing tonight, a KGW investigation into a massive retail theft operation. A business Portland police say turned shoplifting into big money by selling thousands of stolen items online. Kyle Aboshi has more on the raid that uncovered all the evidence.
Portland police, wearing tactical gear, raided Card Rhino on Northeast Halsey. Inside, investigators recovered tens of thousands of dollars in stolen merchandise, including electronics, appliances, and collectibles, all new and still in the box. They also recovered boxes marked for shipment. Here's how it all worked. Investigators say shoplifters looking for cash would steal merchandise from retailers, then bring it to the Portland store. They got paid a fraction of what the item is really worth. Then the store would turn around and sell the stolen goods online. The operation had several accounts on eBay. There appear to be thousands of transactions going back several years. The case highlights an ongoing issue that we've been reporting on: retail theft in Portland. It impacts businesses and puts store clerks and customers at risk, and is often driven by drug addiction.
2 people were detained briefly today but later released. I'm told charges will be filed. And just to give you an indication of how busy this fencing operation was, several people approached while police were on scene today asking about selling their items. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
That in and of itself, the icing on the cake there. All right, new tonight, the city of Portland held the first of 4 listening sessions over its proposed budget as it faces a $93 million general fund deficit and the prospect of significant cuts and layoffs. Tonight's was in District 3. That's much of inner southeast, some of northeast Portland. Mayor Keith Wilson, other local leaders listen to concerns from residents, people speaking out about saving school programs and park maintenance from budget cuts, among many other things. The next session will be in District 1 on Thursday. District 4 follows April 1st, District 2 on April 3rd. Well, meanwhile, a number of city councilors are hoping to build what they call much-needed sidewalks in their districts. Next week, Councilor Loretta Smith of District 1, Mitch Green of District 4 will present a $500 million plan that's funded at least in part by federal grants and the gas tax.
I looked at a report in the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and I saw that more than 50% of the sidewalks that were not tended to or that didn't have sidewalks were in District 1 and District 4.
Well, if council approves the plan, the city would have to work with PBOT to work out the details. We'll keep you posted. New at 11, speaking of places to stop and linger like a sidewalk, anyone headed to the Baghdad Theater or thrift stores on Southeast Hawthorne will find something new this summer. Take a look at the renderings for a new pedestrian plaza. It will not be directly in the intersection, though on 37th, just on the north side of the boulevard there. The pilot project will include picnic tables, street murals, and a solar-powered kiosk. We talked to the owner of Tav Coffee, who'll be right next to the plaza, who told us he's excited.
People want to come back to this area here again. They want to hang out at the businesses around here. So having a plaza here and creating a space for the community to just have life is amazing.
Well, we heard from other business owners in the area who have concerns over the logistics of the whole thing and who's going to be responsible for upkeep. The 6-month pilot is set to open in mid-May.